Okay, hello, hello. Tara, if you want to introduce us, I'm going to make sure I get this X out so we're good to go.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Wealthy Woman Playbook. I'm your host, Tara,
And I'm Jess.
and we are so excited to be here with you guys for another Tuesday Tips from the Top. You guys, this is one of our favorite days of the week to
It is.
share all the information that we have with you guys, to just come here and share things that are either on our heart or things that we just feel are imperative to help you to grow personally, financially, mentally, as a leader, all of the good things. So before we jump into today's episode, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of our affiliates in the Playbook to Millions. You guys are absolutely crushing it, killing it. If you decide that you would like to also become an affiliate, you can go ahead and click the link down below. If you would like to just get better with sales, marketing, content, all of that good stuff, you can also go ahead and click the link down below. The other thing is we will be launching our very first ever. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like a 75 hard, but 45-day hard for women to be able to make 2025 the year that they make themselves top priority. Okay. So you can check it out on our stories where we're going to be releasing the name and all of that we're going to be doing. But basically, it's going to be a community of women where we're going to be sharing high protein recipes. We're going to be sharing workouts. We're going to be holding each other accountable. It's going to be our version of the 75 hard. And yeah, that's basically going to be a community to help you guys to look better, feel better. We're going to be sharing skincare routines and just all of the things in there to help you to feel your best, look your best, become your best. And we've all realized that as women, sometimes as getting older, sometimes it's better when you have a group of women behind you that are also in the same exact boat as you, understand you, relate to you, and you guys are all doing it together versus maybe joining a community or joining a gym where everybody's already in shape, they're already fit, they've already been doing it for a little while. So we really want to empower you guys to feel your best, look your best, and all that good stuff. So check out on our socials. We'll be dropping the name of it, the details, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, you guys, summer is right around the corner, and we want you guys going into the next half of the year feeling your absolute best, looking your absolute best. And this community is going to be absolutely incredible. I cannot wait. So look out for that. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and just jump right into today's episode, which is basically, Jess, do you want to share?
Sure, sure. So yesterday, I had a conversation with a coaching client in our mastermind that really got
Yeah.
my wheels spinning on this conversation because it's something that every leader goes through at some point, and having the people who have already gone through it before is like really imperative to like moving through with least resistance. So
Yes.
the coaching client came to us and she was like, "Hey, so I'm feeling really overwhelmed with my team. Like I really they're scaling very quickly, which is good. I'm scaling very quickly, which is good, but like I'm a little overwhelmed. Like what can I do?" And the reason that we get overwhelmed is because as leaders, like natural born leaders, okay? And if you're in me and Tara's ether, our world, it's because you're a natural born leader. That's why you were
Yeah.
gravitated towards us. We are natural born leaders. And as natural born leaders, we are low-key control freaks, right? Because we're like, I can do it better, I can do it faster, let me just get it done. Who drop me a comment if this is you, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, I could have so and so do it, but I'm just gonna do it because I can do it done faster. It'll take me longer to explain what I need done than me to just do it. And we feel like we have to be in control of every scenario and every situation to move the needle forward. But one of the perspective shifts that I had when we were having this conversation yesterday was yes, we want to be in control to move the needle forward because we trust ourselves, right? We know what
Yep.
we're going to do. We know the work that we're going to put in. We know we're going to do it correctly. But also, if we strip the power or strip the control away from people who could do simple things that they need to be able to learn to do anyway, it's basically taking away their power for them. It's
Hmm.
basically being like, I don't believe you have the power and the personal power to do what you need to do. So I'm going to do it because I hold the power. And that's not
Yes.
fair to other people because other people join us in business, whether it's our high ticket business or it's our coaching business or whatever it be. People join people in business because they know their power. They had the power to make the buying decision,
To
right?
do it.
They want to increase their personal power to scale a business, to be a CEO, to do all the things that they really want to do. And us being in the position of the one who's coaching them, whether we're their upline or their coach, if we say we don't believe that you have the power to do what you need to do, that's not really fair to them.
No.
And what I really pride, and I think Tara too, what me and Tara really pride ourselves on is being leaders of leaders, meaning
Yes.
we don't just build our organization and our businesses for the followers. We don't want just like sheep who are following us around. What we want to do is we want to build other leaders. And to build other leaders, that means that we have to see people in their power. That means that even though we have different power, we're equal. You have different strengths. I have different strengths. You have different perspectives. I have different perspectives. And I believe in you and your power. Because the moment I stop to see you and your power, that's not fair to anyone in the
Right.
game, right? Because then I assume more responsibility and control than I need to. I don't believe in you to do what you need to do. And that's not how I build powerful leaders. The way I build powerful leaders is by seeing you in your power and helping develop that, which in turn means relinquishing some control and allowing you to do what you need to do in your business. Tara, what do you think?
110%. And honestly, you guys, this is like something where I felt like I really needed to because, I suffered from people pleasing and things like that. But like when somebody would ask a question, I would just be like, oh, I could just go find it for them really quickly because like I knew where it was. And I would think to myself, well, they're probably just gonna think like, okay, well, why can't you just tell me? Like, what's the big deal? And so I like battle with that because that's part of my people pleasing and also, just being like, well, let me just give it to them. But what I realized was by me constantly doing that, I was taking their power away from them and not allowing them to go and be resourceful because what happens when I'm not around or I'm not available? Like,
Exactly.
are they going to be able to feel empowered enough to go do it? Or, for example, like, if they're having a conversation with somebody and they message me and they're like, oh, like, I'm not sure like what to say. Right. And then I'll get back to them because, like, let's say I was busy, I couldn't get to my phone. Um, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I wasn't around, what ended up happening? And then they'll be like, oh, I didn't respond because I was waiting for you. And I'm like, what? You didn't respond because you were waiting for me? Like, no, don't ever do that. Like, because here's the thing, like, that's not the last person you're ever going to speak to. And if you don't try to, speak to them, you're never going to figure it out. And the only reason why I know what to say and how to deal with things and all of that is because I had to do the work. I had to go out there and try and figure it out? And so, I think that when we're doing things like, if they're like, oh, where can I find this? Or how do I find that? Or where's the link for that? Or where's this? Or where's that? And we just continue to give it to them versus being like, if you go ahead and go over here and check on this, and you'll find it right there, where at first they might be like, okay, well, why couldn't you just give it to me? But again, we need to empower them to be resourceful because they're coming to us wanting to build a big business, right? They want to become six figures, multiple six figures, seven figures, right? They want to also bring people into their business and coach them and help them to become leaders and things like that, right? Because people join the business because they don't want to be an employee anymore. They want to be a
Exactly.
CEO. They want to they want to be, a baddie. They want to be in their bag. They want to go shop. They want to go freaking drop, $100,000 on a Porsche truck if they want to, and, not think twice about it, right? So that means that we need to empower them to do boss moves. And boss moves means being resourceful and, you know, not looking at our mentor as our savior, but as the person that's going to help them to stay in check and help them to move forward and empower them to do the things that they need to do. Not, because I think sometimes they feel like they work for us in a way, or we work for them.
Well, because what happens is like, especially if you have a leader who likes to be in control, which is just a natural born leader, what tends to happen is then we build these organizations and we're not teaching people how to also step into leadership. So now we're becoming a manager. and we're
Yes.
actually managing an organization of employees, because no one will take action without our approval. No one will make moves. And that is creating a 9 to 5 scenario and mindset within your organization. Because the
100%.
way that you make a six and multiple six-figure income in the online space is by being able to take fast action, not having to wait for permission, moving forward boldly, doing what you need to do. So again, it's like following the structure, following the frameworks, following your training and doing what you need to do, but also not waiting for validation for every little thing you need to do, right? So like, can you check this piece of content for me? Every single piece of
Yes.
content. Can you check this
Yes.
conversation for me? Every single conversation. Hey, I want to post this picture. Do you like this picture? Hey, I want to post this graphic. Do you like this graphic? Hey, I want to do that. It's like, no, just go do, and then we refine later. And
Yeah.
that's how you become a CEO, is you just move. And that's why I make money. You guys, that's also why there's less qualified people out there making more money than you are right now, because they're just moving.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're not waiting for
Yep.
validation. They're not waiting for permission. They're just going.
Yes.
So as a leader, if we don't trust in our people to do what they need to do, and we're like, check in with us every second of the day, let me see every piece of content, let me see every conversation, let me know before you do absolutely anything, then we're just keeping people in the employee mindset, and we're creating a bunch of followers and a bunch of people we're going to have to micromanage. And then that becomes heavy. And then what happens after that is we have an organization because we're doing what we need to do. We're not teaching our people to be resourceful. We're not teaching our people to be coachable. We're creating a bunch of people we have to manage. Then we grow, and this grows and compounds for a little bit. And then no one is producing on their own because they feel like they need your validation and permission to move forward. You are getting exhausted, which means now you're getting resentful, which means now you're getting burnt out. They're not producing because they need validation and permission. Now you're not recruiting because you're tired of giving validation and permission. And now your entire business dies because they're not
100%.
self-sufficient and you're burnt out.
Yep.
This
100%.
is a cycle I have seen happen, especially in my high ticket business. Over the years, I have seen top rank leaders, 6A, 6A2 leaders who leave the business because they are so burnt out in their organizations, because they don't know how to create other leaders. They create followers. And this is not what we want to do, because then we don't have any sustainability in our business. This is why I want to build other leaders, is not just to help build other leaders and change their lives. Yes, obviously, but also I want to create passive income. It's like the saying, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. Same freaking thing in business. If you do the work for every person, you help them make their money, but you don't teach them the leadership behind it, you don't teach them the mindsets behind it, then when you tell them to go fly their wings and go be successful, they don't know what to do.
No.
And they stop producing once you finally let them go fly their wings. So it's like, if you can spend the first 60 to 90 days with people one-on-one and really develop their leadership, develop their mindset, develop what they need to do to take action, then you're going to create leader after leader after leader who is self-sufficient. And then your organization is going to grow without you having to have your claws in every single person the entire way. That's how we create passive income and a lot of revenue and a lot of volume, because we don't need our hands in every little tiny pot.
Well, that's why that's why you start to feel like you need your hands in every tiny pot, because you're not giving them the things that they need. So then they're not doing it right. And then you feel like you need to be overseeing every single little thing, and you don't. So dropping the people pleasing from the very, very, very beginning and teaching them, if they're not doing it right, you don't have to say, okay, you didn't do that right. You can say, okay, so what we're going to do, using we instead of you, right? That's like the way that we're going to speak to them to make them feel like, like, oh, it's okay, like, you didn't know, but now we know, so this is what we're going to do moving forwards, and just things like that. And then after the 60 to 90 days, you start to see like, okay, they got it. Like, for example, one of my girls, Victoria, she was like a silent like assassin, I swear to God.
Silent killer.
She was so quiet all of the time. And when I had to get my surgery in July, she was probably about 2 months into the business, okay? And she brought in somebody that was moving, right? And I was most worried about her because she had somebody that was like bringing people in and stuff like that. Well, the first person that she brought in, I had went to bed because it was the last day of the month, and this is before the prices went up. I had went to sleep, and I woke up in the morning and I saw that she was like, oh, what do I do? Because so-and-so is going to join. So I messaged her. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, I already sent it in. I'm like, you did? And she's like, yeah, I just went to the back office and watched the paperwork thing that Jess did. And I was like,
Yeah.
nah. I was like, what, did you put her in the thing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, Victoria. I was like, excuse me. I was like, oh my God. I was like, like shocked. She was paying attention the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, when people would ask questions and she would chime in, I'd be like, "Oh my God, like she was on her A game because she was taking action. She might have been not the most vocal, but she was following exactly what I was doing and she was, putting her own little spin on it, but not to the point where it felt like she wasn't
Different.
being coachable or reinventing the wheel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, yeah, like that's the thing is you want to make sure that you are taking note of what your mentor is teaching you. You want to not reinvent the wheel and you want to be resourceful, right? Because you want to feel like, when you join and you become a part of like the team and the leaders, like you want to sit with the leaders, like you want to get to that point. You want to feel like, I learned, I grew, I implemented, I this. Now I have my own team that I'm coaching and I'm developing and I'm doing like that's how I was. I wanted to get to that point where I felt that way and I could sit at the table with the leaders and feel like, I can do this too versus, you know, my leader feeling like, okay, she doesn't get it. Every time I try to talk to her or try to tell her things, like she does her own thing and then she's complaining. Like I didn't want to be that person. And so that's why when she would give me direction, I would take the direction and I
Yeah.
would go and I would implement. And if something wasn't working, then I would come back and be like, hey, can you check this out? How am I doing? But I didn't need her to oversee every little thing I did unless she saw something and caught something and would say, hey, I saw that you did this. Why don't we try doing this because putting hashtags there doesn't work or whatever it was that she was saying. I'd be like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, perfect. And I would just do it.
Yeah. And that's part of being coachable, right? Like in the beginning, what I learned was my coach had made a lot of money and I had made zero money. So
Right.
why am I going to come into this business acting like I know what I'm doing when I obviously don't? I'm just going to take action. And I was a lot like you, which is, I mean, makes sense, right? We are who we are. But I was a lot like you where it was like, I respected her time. I knew her time was valuable. Like for someone who had made seven figures to want to help me who had made $0, like I was going to respect that time. I was going to take everything like straight to the noggin and not make her repeat herself. Like I was going to go all in because I knew that that was a privilege and that was, something that I was very grateful to have. But why I was able to do that and why people like me and Terry would do that is because we're resourceful. So I just want to like clarify what that is in case there's people who are like, I don't even know what that means. So when you being resourceful means not having to depend on other people to give you the information that you could easily go get yourself, right? It's like being able to be like, I need something, I'm going to go find what I need. So for example, like Google and YouTube literally should be a paid service for me. Like they coach 101. Like if I need anything, I am going to Google and I am going to YouTube and I'm going to figure it out. This is aside from like the training that you guys have in whatever platform you're in or
And
trying
now
to,
TikTok
right?
too.
And now TikTok too. Yes. Literally everything you can need is on there. So instead of asking your mentor questions that you can go find the answer for, that's what you need to do. Because we have to remember that, when you're starting your business, you have one person under you, two people under you, three people under you. It's not a lot to manage, but usually your leader who's above you has like thousands of people to manage. So their DMs are bogged
And
down
their own business to
more
manage.
and their own business, their leads, their clients, all of these kinds of things. So instead of asking like, hey, where's the link to this call? It's like you can go find the answer to where the link to that call is, right?
Yeah.
Or what's the commission on this? Well, you can go find the answer somewhere else where that is, right? So it's like, again, not waiting for someone to respond back to you. It's going and getting it done. So anytime me and Tara want to create something, like we started our coaching brand together. All of that was new. We had never used Thrivecart. We had never used checkout pages. We had never used, subscriptions and these kinds of things. And it was like, we just went and figured it out and we took action and we moved because again, there are people less qualified than you making a hell of a lot more money than you simply because they just move. And so people are so paralyzed because of the employee mindset of, I can't take action because what if I get it wrong? Then I'm going to get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble.
No.
Like
Wow.
you're your own boss, you're your
Yeah.
own CEO. And if you don't find the answer and you don't figure it out, then you ask the question later, right?
Yeah.
But it's like just like Tara's great example of, her girl in the DM. She could have waited, but instead she made four figures that night because she took action rather than waiting for Tara to respond. Then who knows what would have happened throughout the night, you know?
Literally.
So it's like we just have to move and move quickly and then refine later. And that's how we get to where we want to be. So as leaders, it's our job to teach our people that so that they don't become dependent on us because that's when we get resentful.
100%. So, you guys remember, like, we want to help you to be mega successful. And then in turn, you're going to help your people to be mega successful. And that is why, we are constantly empowering you to do these things. It's all out of love. And sometimes it's tough love, and then we need that. And I know for me, I need coaches that have strong personalities that can literally tell me, like, okay, no, like put me in my place at times if I'm like, spiraling or like making up stories in my mind and whatever, it's all because they have our best interests at heart and want us to grow to become the best versions of ourselves.
Amen.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Amen. All right, you guys. Well, it's been real. We love our Tuesday tips from the top as usual. If there are any topics that you would love for us to riff on, go ahead and comment them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you guys. Also, we were thinking about possibly doing a hot seat coaching coming up. So if you would love to be in a hot seat coaching, and do an ask me anything, that's also something that we were thinking about doing where you guys can submit to our email. But I think like maybe we'll do the hot seat coaching first. So if you are somebody who would like to be part of the hot seat coaching, go ahead and comment down below. And also do not forget, you can find us on Instagram, where we will be on the podcast, The Wealthy Woman Playbook. Jess, what's your Instagram?
Magnetic money moves.
Magnetic Money Moves, and ITS Tara L, all on Instagram, where we will be dropping the 45-day hard that we will be doing all in the feminine energy, which we're super excited about. So make sure you come and check that out, where we'll have all of the details, and we will see you guys